Hello everyone, we're here at VMworld with Bask Iyer, the CIO of not just VMware but also Dell. Bask, what is it like to be the CIO for both companies now?
Very confusing, but it is challenging. It's the largest computer company in the world, and two big companies are coming together, EMC and Dell. So a lot of integration challenges to go. But most importantly, we have to showcase that we are applying technology to get the synergies. There's no point if we say we brought two companies together and we just hacked some costs and got synergies. The customers that want to know, did you apply digitization? What did you do with technology? And they're going to come and look for some leadership from us. So it's very challenging from an innovation standpoint.
Exactly, and I think you know VMware very well because you've been the CIO for a number of years. Dell might be newer.
That's right.
Do you see lots of differences in the way that internal IT was built up in both companies?
It's similar to where it was in VMware before. I mean, a year and a half ago in VMware when I came, VMware was pretty much running trains on time. That was and the trains were not always running on time. So the first order of priorities is make sure the trains run on time. It's not very cool, but that you have to do that. I think Dell EMC is in a similar sort of situation where, we have to get a little bit better in the operational abilities. But you can't stay in that mode. That's not what employees want or customers want. It took us about a year and a half now in VMware to start getting into mobile, to be leaders for cloud, to be a leader for IoT and so on. So it'll take us some time to get to that stage with Dell. And I actually can't wait. This is a very important time. It's like, you have to exercise to show that you have a good body, but I would rather have a good body than actually exercise. So we're on that stage where we have to get some rigor built in.
Yeah, very good. And you mentioned obviously VMware was in a similar state a while ago.
Yeah.
We're using a lot of our own software. We're drinking our own champagne.
That's right.
Can you talk a little bit about the benefits for VMware in terms of processes, but also the feedback towards product development?
Yeah, sure. We use something called OneCloud, which is our largest private cloud. All our software development is done there. So when we talk about how cloud can help product development, we're doing that. All our engineers, they don't buy hardware, they don't worry about services, they just write software. Yeah. And we provide the resources. It's fantastic. So what we can do with Dell now is we want to set up a world's largest private cloud. So we can get the same benefit across the whole companies. So that's one. We also didn't do a whole lot of mobile development about a year and a half ago, if you remember. We have about 20 odd apps now, and a lot of these apps are very, very useful for people. And every customer we talk to about AirWatch or other kind of stuff, they want to see the apps. That's what sells, that's what is attractive, not just the infrastructure. So I think those kind of apps development is going to go even further. I mean, I honestly believe your mobile phone is going to be your primary computer, and it's going to happen everywhere. The third thing that is exciting is we started doing something on Internet of Things. Mm-hmm. And while it's, everybody talks about it, this big wave is coming, and it's going to require intense computing. So VMware is getting ready for that. So we're actually launching a product, me as the GM for IoT, we're looking and saying what kind of products are required to scale Internet of Things. And we're doing some pilots as well. I mean, I'll talk a little bit about some of the pilots we're doing internally, which is very cool on IoT.
Yeah, and what are those pilots? I mean, IoT is very big for everyone, not just VMware.
Yeah.
You mentioned that we're going to come up with solutions there. Yeah. What are the pilots that you're talking about?
So the first thing, let me start with applications. This is a very crazy California pain point. So we have about 80 electrical chargers in the Palo Alto office. Yeah. But we never have a charger to charge our cars because we have 100, 200, 300 cars that are all electric cars, right? So we are all driving around trying to find a charger to charge. And every month the facilities is putting more chargers, but there's always a complaint, right? And there are chargers in different garages. So what I end up doing is drive to the one garage, don't find the charger, go to another one, don't find the charger, go to the third one, then I come back to the first one, and I probably waste more electricity looking for a charger.
Exactly.
So how do you solve this? This is a simple one.
I'm guessing there's an app that shows you where there's one available?
Exactly. So it's such a simple idea. Once you think about the problem, we put a sensor on every one of those chargers. You drive into the area and it says, here's one available. So you just book it on your phone, and if you don't show up in 5 minutes, you lose it, right? And so you go straight there, charge it. But now you get so many other opportunities. First is there may be people who are charging for more than 3 hours. We call them hoarders. So now you can nudge them, and you can, through social media, through Socialcast, you can say, hey dude, can you move your car? You've been charging. After 4 hours, I'm no more nudging you. I'm going to call you by your name, identify your car, and tell him, please move right away. So you can do things like that. And you can do things like, if I don't have, you can request, you can say, hey, I have no gas left, no electricity left to go home. Can one of you help me? Right. So people move it out, right? So between social and mobile and Internet of Things, that's one simple applications. I thought it was a crazy idea, but I showed it to other companies, and they all want it. They all want that.
So it's a new revenue stream for VMware. Who knows?
It is actually, I was trying to talk to them about how do you develop products like that. I was trying to sell them the portfolio of products that VMware is developing. People straight go and say, give me the app, and we'll talk about your products later, which is not quite what I wanted to do. But apps always sell, so that's one. The second one is, the Palo Alto campus is crazy. It's a huge campus. And you always have a meeting in cloud conference room. And I've been there for a year and a half now, and I don't know where cloud conference room is, right? So here's an app, you whip it out on your mobile. We put beacons on the whole campus. Okay. So immediately you press the button and it says where cloud is. And then draws like a Google Maps to say make a left, make a right, and navigates you. Perfect. To the conference room, right? Again, we thought maybe a crazy idea, nobody would like it. Everybody we showed to say they have the same problem.
It's often the simple things that everyone just wants, and nobody took the time to develop it.
Exactly. So when you think about Internet of Things, it's going to open so many pain points. I mean, you've returned a car, and then you're waiting for this guy to come and write this thing up. The car should know when it's returned, it's done, and you should walk away. Yeah. You should pick the car when you want, and you should walk away when you wanted to. In the airlines, by the time you land on the plane, you have 8 hours on the flight. And then you spend 2 hours, doing the customs and immigration and so on. So if you're smart, you could do that right there on the plane when you're landing. So everything I looked at looks like an opportunity for improvement for us. So this wave is coming very, very big.
Great ideas, I think, and all improving quality of life for everyone.
Exactly. So the problem that you get into is that, most people talk about parking sensors, for example. It's cool. It's good to see that you're going to California to San Francisco, and you should want to know where can I park my car, and you want to book it, and then you want to go there, book the car, and through Google Maps you want to find it, book it, and go on. It seems like common sense. If you have it now, you'll use it, right? The problem is when you do it across the entire city, it better work, because you're going to start depending on that app to now make your meetings. So you're going to say it's 45 minutes drive, 4 minutes to park, 3 minutes to walk, and that's how you're going to time it. And what if you go there and the parking is not available, so you waste 20 minutes. So, and then it has to work in every city. It can't just work in San Francisco. That becomes a scale. And that's where VMware can produce products that has control centers, that manages all this parking. And then we're also doing something called Cloud in a Box, which, think about it as a private cloud in a box with Dell, and EMC. That you can just deliver to those places and it works reliably, so you don't have to go. You can use the public cloud if you want, but a lot of these applications need the throughput and the speed of a private cloud. Yeah. So here are some couple of products we're developing, which is very, very, very exciting.
Perfect, and you mentioned also a Dell EMC box.
Yeah.
Do you think the combination of Dell technologies is good for Internet of Things and the way that things progress?
Well, some people want bundled, right? They want to say, hey, can I go to Dell and just get something that works rather than me building it? So we build the one cloud, our private cloud internally. It can work on any hardware, but other companies are saying, I don't want to go decide which hardware to get. So can you give me something right on a box? We can do that.
Yeah, now, and fully supported by one company.
Yeah, exactly. You can go to Dell and get it. So I think I'm pretty bullish about options like that for a CIO. Some people will say, we would really like it on our hardware and our architecture. We can do that as well. But I think you'll find more and more people saying, just give me a private cloud in a box. Give me an IoT cloud in a box. Don't tell me what hardware, what software, what goes in it. And by the way, give it to me on a subscription basis.
Yeah, as a service again.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Bask. I think we've had a lot of examples on how you can improve the quality of your life. So make sure you follow IoT and VMware and Bask Iyer, of course, and how he's going to make the future for Internet of Things. Thank you very much, Bask.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.